What if the war you see today is not the real war, but the opening move of something far bigger? The world is watching a dangerous triangle form. The United States, Israel, and Iran are now locked in a direct military conflict. Airstrikes, missile attacks, drone warfare, rising casualties. But the real question is not what is happening today. The real question is where this leads. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a coordinated military strike on Iran. Their target was clear: Iran's nuclear program, its military infrastructure, and its leadership. The opening attack killed top officials and triggered immediate retaliation. Iran responded fast. Hundreds of missiles and drones hit targets across the Middle East. The war expanded beyond borders within days. Multiple countries became indirectly involved. Oil routes became unstable. Global markets reacted instantly. This is not a normal war. It is not limited. It is not predictable. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. Every world war in history followed a pattern: rising tensions, regional conflicts, alliance formations, economic disruption, then a trigger event that pulled major powers into one battlefield. That pattern is now visible again. Start with alliances. The United States and Israel are aligned. They have strong military coordination, they share intelligence, their operations are synchronized. Iran is not alone either. It has proxy groups across the Middle East. It has influence in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. These groups are already active. They expand the battlefield without direct declarations of war. This creates a network war, not a single front. Now add global powers into this equation. China is watching closely. Russia is watching closely. Why does this matter? Because large powers rarely stay neutral when strategic interests are at risk. The United States has already moved advanced defense systems from Asia to the Middle East. That shift weakens its position in the Indo-Pacific. China benefits from this distraction. It gets more freedom in Asia. It can expand influence without direct confrontation. Russia benefits too. A distracted United States means less pressure in Europe. This is how regional wars turn global. Now look at military escalation. The Pentagon is preparing troop deployments. Thousands of soldiers are on standby. Naval forces are active near critical oil routes. Iran is using asymmetric tactics: drones, missiles, proxy attacks. These are low-cost but high-impact strategies. They expose weaknesses in advanced defense systems. This combination creates a dangerous imbalance: high-tech military power versus unpredictable, decentralized attacks. That increases the chance of miscalculation, and miscalculation is how world wars begin. Now focus on the most critical point on the map: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway handles a massive share of global oil supply. If Iran blocks it, the impact is immediate. Oil prices spike, supply chains break, inflation rises worldwide. We're already seeing early signs. Energy markets are unstable, businesses are facing supply disruptions. This is not just a military crisis, it is an economic shock. History shows that economic shocks accelerate conflicts. Now ask a harder question: is this war planned as a step towards something bigger? There are two views. First view: this is a limited war. The goal is to weaken Iran's nuclear capability, remove long-term threats, then de-escalate. But this view has a problem. There's no clear exit strategy. Experts say the objectives are unclear and conflicting. Without a clear goal, wars tend to expand. Second view: this is part of a larger strategic shift. The United States wants to reshape the Middle East, reduce Iran's influence, strengthen regional alliances. Israel wants to eliminate long-term threats permanently. Iran wants to prove resilience. It wants to show it cannot be dominated. All three sides have reasons to continue. That increases the duration of the war. Long wars attract more players. Now look at global reactions. Some countries support the US and Israel. Some remain neutral. Some quietly support Iran. This division is important. World wars do not start when everyone agrees. They start when the world splits. We're seeing early signs of that split. There are also cracks within alliances. Some Western countries are not fully aligned with US actions. Differences in strategy create instability inside alliances. Now consider the nuclear factor. Iran's nuclear program is at the center of this conflict. Even the possibility of nuclear weapons changes everything. It raises the stakes to the highest level. It increases fear, it pushes faster decisions, and fast decisions in war are often wrong decisions. Now bring in technology. Modern wars are different. Precision strikes, cyber attacks, AI-driven intelligence. Wars move faster than before. Decisions happen in minutes, not days. That reduces reaction time. That increases risk. Even a small mistake can trigger a large escalation. Now consider one key reality. No side is winning clearly. Iran is damaged but still active. The US and Israel are powerful but facing resistance. Experts say there's no clear victory path. When wars have no clear winners, they continue. Now ask the core question, is this World War III? The honest answer is no, not yet, but the structure is forming. Here are the warning signs you should watch. Expansion beyond the Middle East, direct involvement of China or Russia, closure of major global trade routes, use of nuclear weapons or threats, large-scale troop deployments across regions. If these happen together, the situation changes completely. Right now, we're in a transition phase, a regional war with global consequences. Not a world war yet, but closer than before. Now look at economic impact again. Oil prices are rising, supply chains are breaking, markets are unstable. Even countries far from the conflict are affected. This is how global crises spread, not through borders, but through systems. Now consider public perception. Social media amplifies fear. News cycles accelerate panic. Narratives shape reality. This psychological factor matters. It influences political decisions, it pressures leaders, it shortens patience for diplomacy, and that increases escalation risk. Now step into the future. There are 3 possible outcomes. First outcome, controlled de-escalation. Negotiations begin, attacks reduce, war slows down. Second outcome, prolonged regional war. No clear winner, continuous attacks, economic damage increases. Third outcome, global escalation. More countries join, alliances activate, conflict spreads worldwide. Right now, the second outcome looks most likely, but the third outcome is the biggest risk, and it depends on one thing: decision-making under pressure. History shows that world wars are not planned fully. They are triggered by events, unexpected events, chain reactions. That is what makes the current situation dangerous. Now, here is the key insight. This war is not just about territory or power. It's about control of the future. Energy, trade routes, regional dominance, global influence. That's why so many countries are watching closely, because the outcome will shape the next decade. If you want clear, deep analysis on global conflicts, economics, and power shifts, subscribe to our channel now. We break down complex world events into simple insights you can understand and use. Now, return to the main question. Are we heading toward World War III? The answer depends on escalation. Right now, escalation is controlled but unstable. Troop movements are increasing, military actions are intensifying, diplomatic clarity is missing. These are early warning signals, but there is still space for control. Global powers understand the cost of world war. It's not like the past. It would destroy economies. It would disrupt global systems. It would create long-term instability. That fear acts as a restraint, but restraint works only until pressure breaks it, and pressure is building. This is not just another conflict in the Middle East. This is a test of global stability, a test of leadership, a test of how far nations will go to protect their interests. The world is not at World War III yet, but the path is visible, and history shows once that path begins, it becomes harder to turn back. The next moves will decide everything. Stay informed, stay aware, because this story is still unfolding.